Who do you think should be buying gold? Do you think anyone should be?
Is it a must-have in a portfolio? I think no. And I think for someone who's just starting out with investing, the one fund approach, the bond equity split, or the money market fund equity split is probably all you need, because you can dial the risk up and down. You've got your return. That's everything that you really need to control. And the good returns that you get with equity are what you should be focusing on. But in retirement, think of it this way. If there's a crash, you have gone from putting money in when you could be making use of the crashes to taking money out when, if you're 100% equity, just to take an extreme case, let's say you're taking out 5% every year, the size of the pot halves because it's 100% equity, and that could happen. Now you're taking out twice the percentage every year to live. So that's why the compression is dangerous. And that's why you have to diversify. So if you had gold in there alongside equity, then the gold won't have crashed. You could sell the gold instead of the equity, give equity time to recover. So how would you choose which things to buy, which wouldn't crash? Well, you choose as many as possible. Gold is one of them. Maybe a commodity fund would be another. A money market fund would be another. A gilt ladder, where you buy UK government bonds, that would be another. All of these things would give you alternatives in an equity market crash to live off and eat and sell while equity recovers. So you don't milk your portfolio too much and shorten its life too much. So I think post-retirement, there's a fairly good case to be made for gold. Now, some people buy it in the accumulation phase, like you two. You get these portfolios like Golden Butterfly, where a fifth of it is in gold, and it backtests very well. So, some people do, but I don't think it's an absolute necessity.
And when you're saying they backtest very well, what do you mean by that in terms of what are the results that it produces?
So in terms of the returns it produces, and I think this is primarily because during the crash periods, it doesn't crash as much. The return of the individual assets isn't as high, but when you get the crashes, the recovery time's faster because it didn't fall so much. So that's why
is it the risk-adjusted return point again, that it delivers a better risk-adjusted return?
That's exactly it. You look at the risk-adjusted return, units of return divided by units of risk. So that's, on a risk-adjusted basis, you could make a case for including some gold, even in the accumulation phase.
Yeah, and would that be for people then that are saying, I want to invest, I want to do okay, but I don't want to see the value of my investments drop by a lot because that's going to scare me off. So you can improve the risk-adjusted return, a smoother ride, but the end destination would likely be lower than if you just had the equity position, which is like the full throttle version.
Yeah, I mean, psychologically, the benefit of that is that you don't see the crashes. And for many people, they don't like the crashes. If you're used to it psychologically,
you kind of love them, don't you? When you get used to it, you become
then it's fine. But for some people, seeing that 20, 30% fall, they don't sleep at night. I know that because I speak to them. They tell me, I just couldn't even imagine that. So for those people, this would make more sense. It would be more psychologically tuned to the way they approach investing. And I think for certain people, that would be a benefit.
So Roman, definitively, do you think gold is a good investment?
I don't think it's an absolute necessity. So if we look at portfolios and I don't see gold, will I panic? No. Whereas if I see no safe assets and the person's got a nervous disposition, that would worry me. But, as part of a portfolio, a diversified portfolio, certainly in retirement, I think it's got a place.
That was a clip from our conversation with Ramin Nakisa, where we asked the question, is gold a good investment? If you want to watch the full length thing, you can do that right here.